lads, welcome back to Coyote Racing and for a Project Cars 2 video. In today's video, we're going to be racing the Renault Megane RS touring car. Now, a lot of you veteran sim racers out there are going to be asking, why are you playing Project Cars 2? It's the newbiest of all the sims. Except for Forza. The physics in it are way too arcadey. Why are you playing this? And to that, I will say I agree with you. This game is definitely very noob friendly, and the physics are shameful at times. But the reason why I am playing it is because you can still have a bucket load of fun in this sim. But that being said, let's crack on with the video. So in today's race, we are racing at Snetterton in the Megane RS. We qualified 4th, and we've got a good position and a good start off the line. As we race down to the first corner, barreling it in, getting 4th gear, getting right up on the inside, still in 4th position. The server, as you can see, was not the most tightly set, but we are playing a gamble today, and we are going for a dive bomb straight down the inside, giving little Gerald a little bit of a tap there on the side, as we come out of the corner in 3rd position, gaining 1 position, but the Monster Megane has gained a position as well, with Gerald just sniffing our booty on the backside there. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend going for dive bombs and getting very aggressive on the first lap, as that's when accidents can happen. As you could probably see, there was a lot of death happening in the background there. But Gerald gets an absolutely insane dive bomb up the inside there, as we are in the middle of position switching there, as the Monster Megane goes back 2 places and Gerald goes up 2 places. Now, I should mention that in this race, there is a little rule bin set. This race in particular isn't about going as fast as you can, it is about being careful. Because in this race, tire degradation is the main focus here. So the strategy of this race is not to go as fast as possible and just get to the end of the race. No, we have to preserve our tires just to last to the end of the race, so we can actually maintain a consistent pace. And what makes this race in particular a little bit more challenging is we are using the Megane RS, which is front wheel drive. So these cars scrub through tires like no tomorrow. We now come into the sweeping right-hander. I don't actually know the corners names of this circuit, but all I know is that this corner of this circuit is called Snetterton, and it is here in Britain. Getting a little bit restless over the sausage curbs there. Another thing that I should mention about this game in particular is that since the physics are very wonky, driving over the curbs, the car doesn't react realistically at all. So that's lap 1 of 8 completed, and we've gained 1 position within the first lap, which is pretty good progress. But now all we have to do is just keep and maintain a consistent pace as we go through the first corner again, trying to keep up with Gerald, who's right in front of us, who gets on the brakes very late, locks up and goes very wide as we maintain a tighter line and get a very good run out of that corner. For some reason, I wasn't very impressed with that corner at all, but we've managed to gain some time on Gerald in front. Dust, however, up in 1st position, has just left us for dead.
Let's go. Oh, that was ballsy. That was ballsy.
We go for an insane dive bomb as Gerald goes wide, and we actually managed to get the job done coming out of the corner, but he gets a much better run.
Oh, no.
Now, this is where mistakes can show. Once you overtake someone, you are automatically going to glance at your rear view mirror and get very distracted, which is something that I admit I do need to work on. You have to focus on the road ahead of you and not in your rear view mirrors 100% of the time. Yes, check your mirrors to see where your opponent is, but not make it your main focus going into a corner. But he gets a much better run out of that, and he sneaks up the inside of the quick left-right, but he gets a terrible wide line, and we get a much better run out of that corner. Coming into the next right, and we are side by side through the corner, trying to maintain a car's width and respect each other's space, as we are still side by side, but we have got the better line into the corner as we go on the brakes, get down at the 2nd gear, and go way too wide, and he gets the much better line out of that and gets a stonking getaway for that one as he comes alongside, crossing the finish line, and he goes back into 2nd position. But we still have that very important inside line as he slows down to try and let me through, as we're respecting each other's space, and I go through. Now, it is also important to mention that this little pack of 3 that we've got going here, we're trying to maintain our tires to the end of the race. You may have also noticed that Dust has also just left us for dead.
Nah, he's got me here. He's got me.
And if he continues with that pace, then he's going to lose his grip in the later stages of the race, and we're going to catch up, because tyre degradation in this game, with this car in particular, is astounding. So now what's important for myself and the other 2 drivers that we've got in this little pack is to maintain a consistent pace, as I'm currently not doing, but manage to defend my position as I am all over the place. I was having a lot of fun at this point in the race, and trying to maintain that sense of fun while also remaining competitive is actually a very, very thin, fine line. Now, skipping forward a few laps, Gerald is now in second position as I made a mistake on the quick left-right, because you can go right, but we go for yet another insane dive bomb, but he does manage to pull off the switchback, but we get a much better run out of that as he tries to close it off, but he realizes it's way too late to shut me off there and brakes too hard, fearing that he might have nudged me off the track.
Oh, he could have had me there. He chickened out.
So myself and Gerald are having an absolutely storming battle between each other, and when you get a race driver that's as consistent and as clean as this, it makes racing way more fun. It seemed to be a pattern though. One of us overtakes one another, makes a mistake, overtake, make a mistake, overtake. So it's kind of like leapfrogging.
Not again.
We can't pull away from each other and we can't get too far ahead of each other. Again, it's just leapfrogging and making mistakes with each other. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be in the comments asking, why am I using a sequential stick shift when this car is flappy pedal? I say to that, it's all just preference with the style of car. I like the feel of a sequential gear lever, and it just feels way more natural and comfortable for me. So now we're coming down the home straight, and we see somebody coming out of the pits.
Oh, what's this?
Coming up to back markers is a pain, because you just simply don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to race with you? Are they going to let you by? That was scary, but both me and Gerald absolutely cut through like butter. We're going down into the second corner, and we get a good run out there, but we give Gerald a little bit of a love tap, which was my fault, I admit. We understeered right into him and kept the throttle on. But as you can probably tell, we are both pushing hard.
Okay, so I can feel the tyres starting to get a bit warm now. If I keep going the way I want, they're not going to last to the end of this race, and I'll lose pace. So I think I'm going to have to ease off a little bit. Just to see if I can try and, well, if I keep acting like that, I won't do anything.
So at this point, I could feel my tyres starting to get a little bit worn and lose a little bit of grippiness as I've been pushing a little bit harder than I expected. So we're going to have to ease off a little bit, let Gerald get away, let him use his rubber up, and then hopefully if we save our tyres well enough and keep a consistent pace, we'll be able to reel him in. But again, what's important is remaining calm, remaining consistent, easing off and being patient. Because if your opponent is pushing harder than you, they are way more likely than you to make a mistake.
Alright, so that was good, that was good.
And that's what we're looking for here.
My tyres are starting to go though.
At this point, you can probably see in the distance that both me and Gerald are starting to reel in Dust, because we've been maintaining our tyres, and Dust has just been pushing hard throughout the whole race and led the whole way. At one point, he was even 7 seconds ahead of both me and Gerald, but since he hasn't been saving his tyres and we have, but we're just pulling him back in and keeping that pace consistent.
Okay, with a little bit of tyre saving, I'm starting to pick up the pace again. I can hopefully use the spare rubber that we've saved to reel in the other two. As you can see, he's let his tyres up ahead overheat, and he's not having a good time, so I'm able to reel him back in.
So he's on much less rubber than I am, but look up ahead, Dust is not even 3 seconds ahead. We've closed the gap by 4 seconds in one lap.
I think we're reeling the guy in the lead back in as well.
We go into the first corner, and he is within our sights. We are making insane progress on him. As we come down to the second corner, get hard on the brakes, trying to just keep it neat and tidy.
Oh, the guy in the lead's in trouble.
But we are catching up to both Gerald and Dust. Now what we both want to do is just sit back and hope these two have a fight, because at that point we can then just slip by. As you can clearly see, Dust is in trouble. He has not been saving his tyres. He's pushed too hard throughout the entire race, and his tyres are pretty much gone. Meanwhile, both me and Gerald have saved our tyres, and it's a matter of time before something horribly wrong is going to happen as we come down the sweeping right-hander. And we both get a very good run out of there. Dust cannot get a good run because he has to let off his throttle to keep himself on the track.
Oh, he's going defensive. We might actually be able to sneak in.
Dust goes way too defensive, and then the inevitable happens.
Oh, he's gone wide. He's gone wide. Oh, no!
So now it is just me and Gerald.
Come on. Come on.
Coming down into the sweeping right-hander just before the final corner. We have got just this last corner. Can we keep it together? But he locks up.
He's locked up.
He locks up, and we get on the inside of him.
Hold off from me now.
And he can't go
Come
defensive.
On! Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes! Oh!
And that was one whole race
Whoa!
of Snetterton.
That's the closest win I've ever done.
As you can probably tell, I was very, very happy with that result.
Get in!
But it also goes to show that patience and consistency will pay off.
I'm sweating. That was close. I really feel bad for the poor lad. He was so close. His pace was perfect the entire race. And then on the last corner, because he didn't save his tyres, he flipped it over, and me and Gerald just flew by. Yeah, boy!
So let's analyze what happened to poor Dust. As you can see, Gerald is coming up on his inside there as he just turns into the corner. Now, when you've got no rubber and you're taking this line through the corner, which is a very tight corner, it's simply very, very difficult to get anything good out of it. But he turns the wheel, no grip, and hits those insanely big sausage curbs, which just sent him flying. He turns in, no grip, straight off the track. He turns right and it just barrels the car. And I must admit, I felt absolutely horrible for poor Dust because he was leading the entire race all by himself, only for on the last lap to be caught up by myself and Gerald to just bottle it and lose the position and end up coming fourth in the race. Now, you're probably wondering what was the winning gap between myself and Gerald as we crossed the line. The gap was 0.025. Quite literally the closest win and best race I've ever had in my entire sim racing, well, should I say career? Yeah, maybe I'll say career, yes. But anyways, thank you for watching Coyote Racing, and I shall see you all in the next race. Have a good day, everybody.